Hey, sports fans, PB&Z Sportscast. We're back at you once again. We got another show this week. We got some interesting topics. PB, what do you got? Oh,
yeah. I mean, I see you got a harpoon there. I'm drinking this Bud Light Platinum, Bud Light Platinum. It's 6%, which isn't bad for a light beer. Right?
Oh.
Yeah, these things are delicious. Hey, Z, I see you got a harpoon, but what's up with that? What's up with the black suit there?
PB, thanks for asking, brother. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but this is a very somber night. This is the funeral of the Celtics. Rest in peace. I don't see them come out of the weekend. Maybe they win tonight. They don't get by Sunday. I think it's all over for them. And another team, the Denver Nuggets, the Cinderella team, the slipper comes off. Oh, hey. By the way, speaking of somber, last week in the NFL, we'll talk about it. Whoa, D-Day, a million injuries. It was unbelievable, right, PB?
Oh, my God. Big names going down. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Oh, all right. We do have some real somber news. Unfortunately, Gayle Sayers passed away this week. And for fans who may be too young to know him, I didn't see any of his games. I saw a lot of his highlights. The man was legendary. If he played today with fantasy football and the way they pass the ball and run the ball, PB, would he be the number one guy in fantasy every year?
Yeah, I mean, he was a great back. I can see him being a great back in today's, because he didn't play the style of football that most running backs played back then. So, you know, I would liken him to maybe like an Alvin Kamara type back. I think that would probably be the closest comparison of what I would compare him to, like in today's world. Maybe even you could make a stretch for Kareem Hunt. I know Kareem Hunt's kind of had his moments, but think about Kareem Hunt 2 or 3 years ago, that kind of back maybe as well.
And add in Barry Sanders, and there you go.
Yeah. If you want to go back some years, I was thinking more current day football, who he would be more comparable to, you know?
Yep. No, I agree with you. And he would be above all of them by far. All right, hey, Michael Jordan, he's in the news. You know why? He is now in NASCAR. No, he's not a driver, fans. He owns his own NASCAR team. Good for him. With his good buddy, Denny Hamlin, they're going to be partners. Bubba Wallace is going to be a driver. By the way, Denny's not driving. He owns the car. He's still going to compete against him. Does that mean that he might try to crash Bubba? I don't know. Who knows? Oh, my God. Hey, by the way, Bobby Kraft, owner of the Pats, big news this week. He got off Asian of Orchids or Orchids of Asia, whatever they call that place, the fun place down in Florida. They couldn't charge him with it. He's free. He did not get off again, apparently. I mean, he did get off again, I guess. Who knows? Hey, PB, NHL, Tampa Bay's up 2-1. Quickly going to go 3-1 tonight. They play back-to-back. Is this over before people wake up on Sunday?
I'm not going to say yes. Dallas they're feisty. They're hanging in there. They've beaten good teams all the way to get there. They already got one win against Tampa. I mean, I really think Tampa's the better team. I think they can win this thing in 6 games maybe.
All right.
But I'll be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised if Dallas ties this thing up. They're playing good. They're playing good.
All right, you're a hockey guy. I'm listening to you. All right, man. By the way, Tampa Bay did lose the first game. It's the 3rd time they've been in the finals. They've lost the first game. They're 0-3 in finals histories in the first game.
Yeah. But I still like Tampa in the series. So
I do too. Hey, MLB, this is the last weekend of MLB. And this thing, as we said back in our Mulligan prediction show, was going to be chaotic. There are 8 teams in the National League right now that still have a shot at the 6th, 7th, and 8th spots. It's unbelievable. The 2nd spot in the NL East is still up for grabs. The 2nd spot in the NL Central is still up for grabs. It's unbelievable. Who knows? I can't predict right now at this point in time. I know that 6 of my teams are still in it. What about you for the NL?
I don't think I had Philly there, and I know they're still in it. Who did I have that's not in it? I'm trying to think back to my picks. I mean, I had to go.
Exactly, that's the point.
The Rockies are still in it, right?
AL's a little easier. AL, I think we had 7 of the 8 teams, although somebody on this show picked the Red Sox to get in. I don't know why he did.
Yeah.
I picked the Angels. I don't know why I did, but
I think you did. I think you did have Toronto though on our show, on a follow-up show when we had
you
the
know
extra.
what? I think you're right. I think I switched at the last minute.
You
You're right.
did.
So maybe I'm 8 for
You
8.
did.
Who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
You. I think you nailed it. I think you nailed baseball.
All right, let's get the NBA because I hate to say it, but oh Lord, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I can't see the Celtics get on the weekend. Maybe they win tonight, but I don't see them getting beyond Sunday's game. And my only good spot is a bright spot. Maybe if you're happy about this, Brad Stevens saved his life and his career by winning in Game 3. But boy, these guys can't figure it out.
Yeah, it's too bad too because I mean they had the game 1 and they lost in overtime. They blew that one. Game 2, they were up by 17. They were up by 13 at the half. They went up again in double digits in the fourth quarter. I'm just they could have had that game. Just one little thing. Even just if they had won the overtime game, right? It'd be 2-2 right now. Miami would get that series to 2-2 in the last game. Instead, we were fighting to get it to 2-2. And we lost, and that's coming back from 3-1 is tough. I know Denver's been doing it in the West. I don't think.
So let me ask you: they are now 3-1 down, well 1-3 apparently, for the third time.
But this is the Lakers.
Did Cinderella slip or fall off?
Yeah, I mean you're talking about the Lakers now and LeBron. LeBron's not going to lose 3 games in a row to the Denver Nuggets.
He's 14-0. I think I saw today in his career when he's up 3-1.
It's not going to happen. Lakers will win that series. And the Heat, I mean, I think the Celtics have a better chance of coming back on Miami than the Nuggets do coming back on Lakers.
All right, let's play future vision. Let's just say the Heat does pull it off, whether it's in 6, 7, I think 5. They play the Lakers. Who do you like? I know you're starting to like the Heat a little bit, right? And you like the Clippers going into this thing.
Yeah, I think the Heat are more balanced. I think the Heat are a more balanced team. I think the Heat have a deeper bench. I think.
Oh my God! Are you going to say what I think you're going to say?
I'll take the Heat over the Lakers.
What? You heard it here first. I cannot wait till this is published. All right.
But you know what? As a Boston fan, we hate LA. We want to beat LA. We always beat LA. So everybody in Boston is going to be rooting for the Miami Heat. I mean. And of course, I have a lot of reason to root for them being down here. So,
I'm with you. I'm gonna root for Miami. I think the Lakers win, unfortunately, tie us all time. All right, hey, let's get to college football because a lot of stuff is going on. Pac-12 is coming back now. All the Power 5 teams. The Mountain West is coming back. I think the MAC said they're going to come back as well. PB. I'm with you, though. I'm starting to side with you. I heard this on, and you told me about it last week on the College Game Day show. Lee Corso, I love the coach. He came out and said the same thing you said last week on this show. The Big Ten will not have a representative for the college football playoffs, nor will the Pac-12 in my mind. So I think it looks good for what we originally picked, although I did say Ohio State. Are you excited, though, to see all these other schools in these conferences come back?
Yeah, of course. I think it just makes for better football, better games. I think the kids are excited. I know the parents of the kids have been advocating for it because they just want to see, them get to do what they love doing in their life. And I think there's more protocols in place to help protect these people. They're safer in that locker room and out on the field than they are probably back in their dorms.
I would agree with that. I definitely agree with that. All right, let's talk a little college football. By the way, you had the pick of the week last week. You picked BC. I said they could not pull off covering the spread. Never mind covering the spread. They won the game, and apparently they found a quarterback for the first time since Tyler Murphy was there, for crying out loud. This kid, Jurcevic, I think is how you say his name, from Notre Dame. He was awesome. He threw for 300 yards. Unbelievable. All right. Hey, speaking of the picks, I know. Oh, by the way, BC, they play the Texas State Pop Warner Champions this week, I believe is what it is. I know we joked about it in our picks last week. Clemson, you had Clemson winning by?
I had Clemson winning by 49, which they did do, exactly on the nose. I had it predicted at 56-7, and the score was 49-0. So They each fell a touchdown shy of that, but I had it exactly on the nose, a 49-point win against the 47.5-point spread. So I was taking Clemson to beat that spread, and they did by 1.5. So I went 3-0 in college last week. So
congratulations. By the way, all I needed was the friggin' Citadel to get a safety, and I would have covered. Oh, man. All right. PB, let's get into our picks this week. I've got game one we're going to pick this week. Let's see. What do we have here? I've got, oh, my God. I can't even read this thing. Oh,
Miami and Florida State.
Miami and Florida State. By the way, Miami's favored by 11. I don't see where that's coming from. Who do you like there?
Yeah, Miami looked really good last week against Louisville. They're jumping up in the rankings. I think they're at number 11 now. Is it?
I think 12, actually.
All right, 12. I think Vegas knows something we don't know. I think Florida State, with their name and their pedigree and everything else that they have going on in that university from coaching and everything else, is giving them more credit than actually the talent that's on the field. And I think Vegas knows something here. That's why the line's so high. So I'm not gonna take the bait, and I'm gonna stick with Miami and lay the 11 points.
Ooh, I'm going Florida State.
All right.
Here's one. Tennessee goes to South Carolina. Tennessee's favored by 3.5. They've been horrible for a couple of years now, but all of a sudden they get some players. Who do you like here?
Yeah, and South Carolina's been pretty good the last few years. So I'm going to take the home team with the points here. South Carolina's getting 3.5 at home. I'm going to take the Gamecocks.
My niece Catherine goes to the University of South Carolina, so I'm picking South Carolina this weekend just for that. All right. We got a ranked game. Army, number 22. Can you believe Army? It's 2020. What do you expect? Army's ranked 22 in the country. They're playing 14 Cincinnati, another one you can't believe. Cincinnati's favored by 13.5. Who do you like?
Well, I think with Army, with their running game and their ball control and their methodical approach to the game, I think they can wear teams down that way. They can wear defenses down that way. I do think Cincy's going to win the game. A lot of people have Cincy picked to make the college football playoffs this year.
I heard.
Yeah. So, I mean, Cincinnati's no joke, but I think that they just can't get that spread covered. I think, scores a late touchdown. Maybe they're down 20, 18, 17 or something, and they score a late touchdown and keep it to within 10. So I'm with you.
Army
covers. Points.
I'm with you. Okay. Army covers. All right. We got one other ranked game. Kentucky, I believe they are 23, actually. They play number 8, Auburn. Auburn is favored by 7.5. By the way, since 2004, neither one of these teams have won on their home field ever. So who do you like in this game?
Yeah, and that's going to continue because I like Auburn. I'll lay the 7.5.
You are, huh? All right. I'm going to take Kentucky. I know I love them from basketball, but maybe it's blue blood.
So we have two different this week. We have the Kentucky-Auburn game different, and then we also have the Miami-Florida State game different. So
yeah. All right. Let's talk some NFL. Last night we had the snooze fest. The Dolphins beat the Jaguars. Well, you're in Miami. Maybe you thought it was a good game. I fell asleep in it. But let's talk about what happened last week. Before we do, PB, because all the injuries that happened, what was the damage to our Survivor Fantasy League? Fans, if you don't know what happens, Survivor Fantasy is this. You pick 4 guys, you're stuck with them, whether they get killed, they die, break a leg, or whatever. PB, how many of the teams in our league lost a player for the year?
Yeah, well, KC Josh lost Saquon.
All right.
You lost CMC. He's not done for the year, but he's out for 4 weeks or so.
Weeks. I want the guys out for the year, though. There's a couple out for the year, right?
I don't think anybody else is out for the year.
Just Casey Josh?
I don't think anyone else is out for the year. Not from our fantasy league. Lev Bell is out. I know someone took Lev Bell in our league, and he's out for like the first 6 weeks. Michael Thomas isn't coming back this week. He's listed as questionable. I don't think he's coming back. So I think Freddie has Michael Thomas. He's going to be gone for a couple more weeks. But that's it.
Who won last week?
Emily.
Oh, Emily. Really? Nice.
Yeah, and she actually moved ahead of you on the season, so she's right behind G Money right now for second, and then you're coming in at third.
All right. I'm in trouble with McCaffrey out for 3. He'll only be out for 3. He won't be out for 6. All right. PB, give me your takeaways last weekend. A lot of stuff happened. You said injuries and stuff like that. What's your biggest takeaways?
Well, I think my biggest takeaway for just looking at teams, Indianapolis, they're going back home after that opening loss to Jacksonville. I had them as the number 1 seed overall in the AFC. We both have them win that division. They were playing a Minnesota team that we thought was going to bounce back from their crushing loss in week 1. And you know what? Indy handed it to them. I mean, they just
did.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big takeaway. I think Indy's for real, and I think that also proves that Minnesota may not be for real. So I thought that was a big, important game there.
Okay.
Yeah. The other one I have is Green Bay. I think Green Bay. I have them as my number 1 overall in the NFC, and they've scored over 40 points in both their games now. Their offense is legit. Their defense is not as probably good as I was hoping, but I think their defense is still legit, and they can hang in there. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with in that, especially now with them 2-0 and Minnesota 0-2. Detroit's not going to be there. Chicago's not going to be there, even though Chicago's 2-0. I'm not. I have them 2-14.
By the way, a little DYA. Isn't Devontae banged up? Is he possibly out this weekend?
For
Green Bay, Devontae Adams. Didn't he get a little?
Oh, Devontae Adams. Yeah, he was out. Was he out last week? He was out last week. Right? Yeah. Well, Aaron Rodgers will figure it out. He'll get the ball around. Lazard, he'll throw to Lazard. He'll throw to Valdez-Scantling. He's got some guys out there he can throw.
All right. What else you got?
What else was a big surprise? So we got Green Bay and Indy. Miami. I thought Miami did a great job hanging in. They hung in there with Buffalo. Buffalo's one of the better teams. We both have them picked to win the AFC East. They're probably a top 2 or 3 team in the AFC. And you know what? Miami played with them. They played with them right till the end. They almost beat them. And then Miami comes back strong 4 days later and crushes Jacksonville.
Yes, they did.
I mean, they're not as bad as people think. I mean, I've been watching them closely.
And by the way, Fitzmagic, it's almost over, right? End of September, his magic ends. He had a great night last night. Wasn't he at one point between last week and this week, he was 23 passes in a row, completions?
Yeah. So we'll see. If that happens, you got 2 waiting in the wings. I mean, so those were probably some of my bigger takeaways.
Let me ask you this question. I know you said the 49ers are going to have a hangover, but now they lost 2 of their stars, Nicky Bosa and another guy on the defensive line. They lost, obviously, Jimmy G's out this week as well because that horrible field in New York, right?
Yeah, Mostert's
out. Are they
in
trouble?
Yeah, and Mostert's out too. I mean, Jerick McKinnon, I actually picked him up in one of my fantasy leagues. I think he's the number 1 back there now. I don't know. I think they are in trouble. That NFC West is a solid division.
And I think you're right. You said it. I was frowning upon it only because of the coach, but I do love Kyler. Arizona's for real, and you can't stop Kyler Murray. It's unbelievable.
So now at least you're agreeing with me that Arizona could make the playoffs this year.
I had a feeling, but I was worried because of the coach. But despite the coach, Kyler, my Oklahoma boy, who's my Oklahoma hat? There you go. Kyler Murray's leading them. By the way, that kid, oh, God. Hey, I got to turn the tune here a little bit. Dan Quinn, Atlanta Falcons. Is his 15 minutes of fame over?
I'd say yeah.
I mean, that onside kick last weekend, even a Pop Warner kid should know you can dive on the ball if you're the receiving team before 10 yards. 6 guys stood around it. What the? I got nothing to say.
Good for you, though, because the Cowboys came back and won.
Exactly right, PB. But, I love Matty Ice. He deserved to have won that game. He played a great game. But, whoa, man. Hey, how about Justin Herbert? He balled out. He lost the game, but he had no idea he was going to start because this is the wildest story. Herbert had a great game, and it's going to be the Wally Pipp story. I think Tyrod Taylor's done. Herbert's going to be the starter from now on. But the worst part of that whole thing is what happened behind the scenes. Herbert gets hurt in his chest area or shoulder, whatever it was. He had to get a painkiller. The team doctor punctured his lung before the game. He's out, and he may not play again. Who knows? PB, WTF? What do you think?
Welcome to Florida. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, that's bizarre. That's just bizarro.
When I saw that on Monday, I was like, what? Did I read that right? Oh, my God. Hey, I get a little thing here about your other local team, Tampa Bay, our boy Brady. They won. Thankfully, they won. They had 7 drops in that game, including LaShawn McCoy, who's very reliable, catching the ball, one in the end zone. Brady had 7 drops, or he might have had an even better game. He was about a B- in that game. He should have been an A- without those drops. But
did you see that? Did you see that Brady stare down look he gave McCoy after that drop in the end zone?
Oh, yes. And what
That
about
was
the
the
one
stare
the
of
wide
death.
receiver right in the helmet? He's the wide receiver right in the helmet on the sideline. Yeah. Come on. Hey,
he's like, where's Julian Edelman when I need him?
Oh, my God. So 2 things, as I said last week. They got to force the ball more than Mike Evans. He did last week. He got another touchdown. He forced the ball to Evans. And Leonard Fournette has to touch the ball more often. That's the bottom line.
All right.
All right, let's get into our pick 6, man.
Yeah.
By the way,
favorite part of the show.
Playoff previews, right?
Oh yeah, we do. We got the big one Monday night, right? We got to talk about for sure.
We'll talk about that momentarily. All right, Rams at the Bills. Who do you think?
I think I know that I should be taking the Rams here because I know you love the Rams. The Rams are off to a hot start, but so is Buffalo. It's at Buffalo. I think LA comes across the country and they suffer their first loss. Buffalo goes to 3-0.
I'm with you. But hey, by the way, Josh Allen is the best deep ball thrower in the league right now.
He does look good. And with Diggs there, that helps too.
Oh, God. Tennessee. I can't believe this. They're favoring this game. They're going up to Minnesota. Who do you like there?
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee, A.J. Brown is still out. So I'm concerned there that the load is going to be on Derrick Henry. I think Minnesota can figure out a way to slow him down a little bit. And I like Dalvin Cook in this game a lot. I think Minnesota gets off the schneid here and wins their first game of the year. So I'm going to take the Vikings.
I'm with you only because I'm praying for it because I picked them to win the division. You picked Green Bay. I'm picking Minnesota. All right. Houston and Pittsburgh. This was supposed to be a playoff preview. I don't think it's going to be any more, but who knows? Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, Houston's not impressed me at all, and I know I picked them to make the playoffs as the final seed.
You did.
But, and I said I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers are there. I did expect the Steelers to be strong. They won't beat Baltimore out for that division, though, but I got Pittsburgh in that game.
PB, I got one question for you. Does Bill O'Brien, the general manager, fire Bill O'Brien as the head coach after this game?
I mean, it's something you do.
That would be awkward.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of talent there. I mean, Deshaun is the real deal at quarterback, and he's got some decent receivers. I know D-Hop's gone, but they should be able to figure out their offensive
Are you taking the Steelers?
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers, though.
I am, too. By the way, rumor is Antonio Brown may be signed by them, by Houston, by the middle of next week. All right, let's move on. Dallas at Seattle, and I hate to think about this, but Russell Wilson, leading candidate for the MVP right now. Who do you like?
Yeah, Dallas lucky to be 1-1 right now, and it could have been 0-3 because they're going to lose on else. I think Seattle and Green Bay and New Orleans, those are my 3 12-4 teams in the NFC. So I'm gonna take the Seahawks.
I am as well. All right, Green Bay and New Orleans. Green Bay, your pick to win the bye in the conference. New Orleans, my pick to win the conference. Who do you like?
Yeah, and I have both these teams finishing at 12-4, actually, along with Seattle. But I had Green Bay getting the number 1 seed, and the reason why is because they go into the Dome in New Orleans and they take this game from them. So I do have Green Bay. My only home pick this week to win. I mean, my only road pick this week to win is Green Bay.
I am concerned about New Orleans. I think Drew Brees' arm is shot. He cannot throw a long ball anymore, but I still pick him to win this game. All right. We're going to talk about the big one. KC at Baltimore. PB, what are you looking for out of this game?
Well, I mean, first of all, the quarterback battle, right? Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, two of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league, probably.
The last two MVPs.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be a great battle. I do know that Baltimore, from a regular season standpoint, they've won 14 straight regular season games. Unfortunately, they're not a playoff team. Like, they can't play in the playoffs. They've been one and done the last 2 years, and I'm predicting them to go one and done again this year. But that doesn't mean they're not going to have a great regular season. So I like that 14 games coming in. But KC has won 11 straight overall, including the playoffs coming into this game. So that's an interesting little dynamic as well. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, can he run against that Baltimore defense?
I don't know. Baltimore has a tough defense.
They do. They have a tough
defense.
defense.
City.
And we saw what the Chargers did last week to Mahomes. I think if Kansas City plays like they did the last week against the Chargers, they're going to get smoked by the Ravens.
Really? All right, before I ask you for your final pick, little thought to think about. I just heard this stat this morning. Kansas City, after receiving possession on a punt, they've scored on 59.6%. Mine will be 6 out of 10 of those possessions. The league average is 34.8. That's an impressive stat. I didn't realize they were that good after getting the ball on the punt. Baltimore's defense is in the top 10. KC's in the top 20. So, I'm with you. Baltimore can definitely stop them. They can definitely score with them. Who do you like?
I'm gonna stick with the home team here and go with Baltimore. I really think that KC's a little bit wrong. I only have KC going 11-5 this year. So I did.
You do. That's right. That's right.
I do have a win in their first two out of the gate, and I had them losing to Baltimore before the season even started. So I'm going to take the Ravens as my 5th of the 6 games this week. I'm taking them, the home team.
All right, man. Apparently I've taken all of the home teams, so we'll see what happens.
The only one we're different on is Green Bay, New Orleans.
Well, you know why? We get some other money right on that.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, sports fans, that's our show this week. It's a wrap. We'll see you soon. PB, signing up, brother. Good one.